It is not Monday, Tuesday, die 3 van December 2024. En welkom na die Slyso TV podcast. Maar I am not alone. You're probably asking, what on earth is going on with this guy?
You're gonna scare off our fans, Wena, please.
Bacinga
Drop
sikucake
this
net.
Afrikaans thing. Okay, this is not 70 land, this one.
Oh, shem, u7 de land waphela ne?
You know what? I don't even know what's on SABC 1, 2, 3, and ETV anymore.
Okay, I have another job with the SAPC, so I'm feeling hurt right now.
Radio, of course. I
Oh,
mean
okay, okay, okay,
that's a
okay.
difference. So I've always been a radio girl in any case. So
Mm-hmm.
TV, not so
Okay.
much.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Apologies. We were supposed to have the episode yesterday, but the
Yep.
travels and the delays at
What happened
the
to
border.
you, Lesotho man? What happened exactly? I hope
Yo,
Uyinene
you know what I've done? Like, I put together like a couple of videos, or like just for people to capture because we have an hour.
Yeah,
But I really want to do. It will be a pre-recorded, episode,
yeah.
feature episode. I'll call it, on my discovery and my travels to Lesotho. But wow, my eyes are red. I didn't smoke any weed. This is me from being tired and getting home after midnight and waking up and having to deal with my beautiful clients. I'm gonna say
That's
beautiful.
going to be me and our viewers and our fans are going to make that decision about why I'm so red.
Why do we have red eyes? Yeah,
What
man.
about nice?
Hmm. So we planned. We were supposed to meet on Thursday last week.
Yes.
Yeah, but my traveling party decided that, which was a smart move, by the way,
Okay.
that we travel on Thursday. So
True.
we made off to Lesotho on Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
cold
I
as
was
hell.
hurt because I was in Joburg and Usisa was ready to like make plans, and then he was like, "This nigga is gone." I was
Yeah, you
like,
guys could have made plans without me.
no, but what happened? Ganane Usisa, well, what was there was something. I think he had a consultation or something. There was something that was going on also on his side,
Yeah.
and he was going to be available on the Saturday. So I was like, I'll be gone by then because it was just kind of like in boom, 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 boom meetings, strategic sessions,
Hmm.
and then I had a Friday afternoon actually that I was free on, but I managed to get to see a good friend of mine.
Good at, good
My
at, good at.
my university friend that I've been like very close with, and was some Tatu Nasipi. So shout out to you, friend. It was good. So we caught
Yo, what's
up,
up, Nasi? What's up,
had
Nasi?
some wine, good old
Mm-hmm.
chat was very good.
I can
So
imagine.
yeah,
I
it
know
was
when
actually
ladies meet up, they can
you
talk
know,
until the
Kaloku,
following day.
it was.
Oh, Chami, did I tell you?
Can you believe it, Tommy? But this is the audacity.
We've got who on the comments, Talando Willem, avid listener, Yomhlobo NNFM, Slyso. Thank you very much for that. And I'm showing that to our viewers so that, especially with what I would like for us to talk about first,
Yeah.
it's some bad, bad shit. Some
Oh,
bad, bad shit. It involves a doctor. It involves fundisi. It
oh,
involves Malaninzi yaseMpuma Koloni.
oh.
Malaninzi yaseMpuma Koloni. So we're going to start with all of that before we get to beautiful celebration that I saw that you guys had. I was like, so beautiful that that the memory is carried forth
Yeah.
in a very a beautiful and celebratory manner. And I love that it also happens during the 16 days of activism as well. Dinigin Kluva, Bukele, what we're going to be
They
talking
must
about
just
later.
come and gather. We have so
There's
much
so much.
interesting things to talk about.
The first one is this one. Now, Queen.
What's happening?
Um, I'm sure viewers can came across this thing. Ukuba nomuntu xa jonga so ungafuni noyibona ujonga ngecala.
Jeez, I came across the voice notes that were like lying around, and this situation. What is
Oh
happening?
yes.
Give us this background.
Um, look, what I think I'm going to do, because I downloaded most of the videos, all right? But because obviously in the Kilwe client today, I couldn't prep them. But one thing that I know and that I picked up as well, because I also just did my research on trying to find out who these people are. Starting with obviously the lady was from the Department of Education,
Education, yeah.
Dr. Naledi Mbunde. Yeah, being expert. What's the thing, Kanan? Without pay.
Suspended. Suspension.
Oh, she was suspended with full pay, by the way, for a
Okay.
number of things. If you go back, you can even go onto YouTube and just punch him name in.
Yeah.
It's been a thing after a thing after a thing. It's textbooks not arriving. It's this not happening. But eventually. They got to a point around this particular one that apparently they are being probed for,
Yeah.
him and his husband, who is a reverend. And by the way, if you didn't know, the reverend actually owns the company that was doing business with government around supplying what do you call it, tablets for schools. I think it was in the region of about 200 million and 231 million.
Hold on, hold on,
Yeah,
hold on, hold on. Who's
55,000.
whose
Eh?
husband? Whose husband?
Oh, they are husbands now. Before they were not. Yeah. They got married after the deal was signed by the Department of Education for Reverend. Yeah.
No.
To
Oh,
supply those.
yeah,
Yeah. So during doctor's suspension,
yeah,
there was an interim or the person who replaced her, and
yeah,
that lady is the one whose voice note and video is doing rounds, where the person is actually talking. I'm crossing my fingers and hope that I can find it and play it even later on, because I
yeah.
downloaded it. Obviously, we'll just credit the source, because there's so much. And just a little bit of history with Umfundisi as well. I remember, I think a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago,
Mm.
she there was a march by the women of the cloth, Methodist, where they said that Umfundisi, with another colleague, they made derogatory comments about women, female church leaders.
Mm.
Yeah, there was a march, a march. I mean, like, people just have to go to YouTube and find these things.
Yeah,
So yeah, there was a big story around that, where he even a reverend apologized. Apparently they say that he was forced to apologize for those derogatory statements that he
not
made.
so, holy, is it? Not
There's
so.
nothing but like, now when I look at
Um,
as far as this whole picture that we've put up, these are
yeah,
allegations, and obviously what the Hawks are looking into.
mm,
Besicho, I was teaching some guys is cause I think bensithi ukuba kungaba kungabaswa kungakhumsi ubuyazi into yobana kubasiwe.
yes.
So it
Abbas-
is the same here. And also
mm,
just looking at the characters as well, or looking at
yes.
the people that are involved in this. I mean, they got married, I think, like 5 months after the Reverend divorced his wife of over, I think it's 32 years. I don't even have my phone. 23 or 32 years. And 5 months later, he got married to the good doctor who gave him who signed off the tender for that. So that is your
You know
Eastern
what?
Cape.
The only thing I will say to this story, because the minute Teta got reverend and the church and then the scandals, this just affirms my decision to stay away from the church.
Oh
I
no,
just
that's you and me.
like I Niggas will be proving me right every single time because what the hell is this? I
That
mean,
that makes the two of us, Queen. And for me, I'm like, you're a doctor. You went to freaking school to
I
go study,
mean,
to be smart and have a
how
job and have a
greedy can you
life.
be?
And you go get hoodwinked and go get married to some fundisi who owns an IT company that you guys are doing thingy. Allegedly, by the way, because I know lots of people will be coming after us. Yeah, ngumni khona
Allegedly.
la ntwana, ngumni khona la nto. No, we talking
No, no,
about
no,
stuff
no,
that is being
no.
reported.
We are
Please
just
don't follow us.
putting it out there as it already is out there, and just having our own opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, but let the law take its course. We'll see.
But it's so it's so dumb and so unnecessary. Like, how do you is it like your obsession with money? Because I would like to believe he was what do they call those things? Like some chaplain thing for the African National Congress. They'll have Mfundisi that's linked to something thing. That Mfundisi loan. Both of these people. What I'm trying to say is that like it's not like they were in need of money or
Yes,
whatever. You know
yes, yeah,
Another they oh gosh. And for me, I think the most hurting thing when I talk to it is the fact that it is children who are suffering.
of course,
If there's
of course.
one thing, yeah, if there's
I
one
mean, we're
thing I
talking
cannot.
about the Department of Education. I mean, there are schools like we talked about it last time, where it's people like you who have an interest to help us, Miss Golo. As the sufferer, your teachers suffering. Kubekho abantu abalolu hlobo who are taking resources that are supposed to go to schools, help teachers, help learners to have conducive, learning environment, and just, because they're greedy and selfish. And I mean, it's just for me, it's not
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yep, that's what's happening. And unfortunately, Uzizi couldn't join us for personal reasons this evening. But it should be interesting. I don't even have his picture up there.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump coming out guns blazing, saying that the BRICS nation, they better think twice if they think they're going to abandon the dollar. He is going to charge 100% tariffs to every country that is linked to BRICS, that is not appreciating the mighty dollar, which
Oh my,
saved them from 1941 after the Second
oh
World
my God.
War. I'm telling you. May
That's
I
your
tell you, no?
president.
Look, I knew, like, I knew if Zizi was here, he'd be like, yeah, there goes your
Yeah.
Donald.
Okay, you happy now, Sly? So this is what you wanted. Oh
Look,
my God, the drama. What is wrong with this guy?
look for me. The Donald thing is very simple. Donald, ngumntana okhule in a fenced house. All right.
Mm.
He's seen his way into business and blah 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 and all of that stuff. And it's and him going for a presidency, it proved that like he actually is mightier. But he won. And which is what I was really celebrating him for actually looking out for Americans, which is for
Mm.
me something that every president can
Every
copy and
president
say,
do.
you
Yeah.
know, we might sit with a beautiful constitution. I know I'm going to digress a little.
Yeah.
You have people that Zundon or Zamazama that are being
Oh
afforded
my
food.
God. Mm.
How do you know
Mm.
how much the law punishes you if you are found to be in possession of minerals?
In another country.
And now you tell, and now you tell me, reports are that largely the people down there are foreigners. Two, they've committed a crime.
They've
All
committed a
right,
crime.
they
They are
sitting there. It's like
They're not
Ubanjwe.
helping. They're also not doing this for any good cause. Can we not try to, like, romanticize this thing? They are criminals who are there for their own
Queen,
selfish reasons. Like, let's not.
Queen. It's
And
it's like
let's
Ubanjwe.
stop let's stop throwing human rights at every single situation. It's so
That is
unnecessary. Can we not
that.
do that? Can we
mm,
not?
That is exactly where I'm coming to, right? Which is what I
Mm.
was saying. Donald Trump, that's what he did. People thought like he was dumb and talking nonsense when he was saying we're gonna build a wall so that we don't have. it was highlighting, let alone his solution, because Donald Trump is going to be dumb about it or whatever, or not think things through or consult.
Yeah.
But the mere fact that he is highlighting that we need to close our borders. In South Africa, you have this party saying that people need to be let in, this one saying that they need to be let in. At the end of the day, there's a freaking president that needs to lay down the law and say, okay, what is the cost of having these borders open?
And be
So
in control, man. We can't have e-citizens seeming like, their voice is not heard, is not important, and then you have, foreign nationals who are now being treated like we're holier than thou over e-citizens. And I think that's where the issue is at, is that you gotta have rules, you gotta have regulations, you gotta make sure people comply, when they come into this country, so that we are not a Mickey Mouse country where people think they can come in and do crime. Because people do come in and work, yes, but we have a lot of people that come into South Africa, disrespect South Africans, disrespect our, law enforcement people, and just do whatever they want to do illegally. So, and I think that's where the problem is in South Africa, where we're so lenient when it comes to izinto that we're not supposed to be lenient on, and it's not okay.
For me, it's I think the Donald Trump thing has also proven that when our president made a U-turn and say that, hey, we are cool with the United States. Hey, Donald, please don't use that tone. Like, we are feeling. While Donald says everyone who is linked to BRICS and who is trying to, what was it? I think the term they used back then was de-dollarization, which was
Yeah,
basically the BRICS countries saying, why the hell can't we trade in our own currency?
our own currency.
You,
Yeah,
you you know what I mean? These people should be allowed. If
yeah,
anything, the United States needs the rest of the world
yes,
just as much.
100%. That's one.
So to come with the 1941 or the Second World War
No,
attitude, like you're still dominant. I remember saying, I think in one of the earlier episodes, that the war now, the wars that will be fought are not necessarily going to take the shape of what's happening in Ukraine and Russia
Ukraine.
and and Israel. It's the biggest wars are fought in boardrooms. These are
Yep.
people who say we have an IT solution to a problem that your citizens are suffering 50% or 80% of.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
that. Let's see how we can share it with you. It's no
Yeah.
longer fighting for power. You look at China's dominance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me those cars that are doing? I mean, like that are going all over the world. Those people just thought, over 2 months, let's create a thingy, factories, and do all of these things. So for me, with where Donald Trump is concerned, and I think like it's arrogance. He was priding himself of being the only president that didn't go to war, that didn't send like American troops. And even the way he structured his message, it was Donald Trump saying, I am looking out for Americans. There's no other son, a son of the United States that is going to go die in another country. So let's end the wars. Let's find solutions. I was giving such sentiments thumbs
Okay.
up. 2016 or whenever, he said the automobile companies, General Motors South Africa, Ford and them. He was like, hey, come home. Why are you building cars in thingy in South Africa, in Brazil, in blah blah blah? So these countries during that time, they had no option because they were pulling out. And I made an example that one of my car sponsors, which I lost, was General Motors South Africa. General Motors South Africa. But as soon as Donald Trump became the president, he said, "Huck, let's go home." And I said, "Thumbs up." And I was like, "Thumbs up." Americans are gonna have jobs. So yeah, man. That is Donald, and I don't know. Like, obviously, Cyril Ramaphosa, our president, cannot respond on his own because he actually likes this thing, Elapepek. So that is why crime is at the levels that it is at right now. I mean, fight, take a stand.
Yes.
People can't walk into your butchery bavaleleke into lando ifreezer pha ngasemva And then when you come and you say into yobana uzobabamba, they tell you into yobana no besizofuna ukutya besilambile, in fact khanisiphatheleni ingubo because siyagodola apha kule fridge yenu. You broke the
Excuse.
fucking law.
And
You
then you
entered
have
my
to negotiate
butchery.
with these people, like, okay, so what do you need so that we make it comfortable for
We'll
you
make
to,
it
like,
comfortable.
I
Otherwise they couldn't.
mean, yo, this is the
But
frustration that people have, and I think, and then
mm,
as deflections that happen where people talk about no, South Africans are xenophobic. No, South Africans are not xenophobic.
in fact,
No. What we need is people to respect a country when they come into it and make sure that they uphold the laws. They make sure that they exist within the parameters of the law. They cannot be treated like they are some special, humans who are bringing in, I don't know, whatever into this country. So, umthetho awusebenzi kubo. And I think that's where the frustration of South African is. Iphake ngoku wethu, Cyril.
yeah, I mean, it's about time. I mean, like, guys, we can't always. We have the best institution in the world. If it's not serving your people, get the
Yeah.
2/3 majority that you need to go fucking change that thing. That is why we're still sitting with no land. That is why we're sitting with people like with black people still freaking slaves because you and the sunset clause and all of that. But anyway, we ain't trying to fight. We're tired.
I mean, we're just trying to put things forward so that people can think about them. Our viewers must let us know how do they feel these issues, and what's their thoughts around it.
And at the end of the day, they affect us. They they
Yes.
they, they affect us. And I, wa-
The
I was I
ordinary,
was
the one that feels this, at Gqebereni, all these issues affect people, ordinary people.
ordinary people, you and I.
Yep.
Yeah. We move forth. We move forth.
What's next? What's next?
I don't know if there's any story, anything. I think like it was. I don't know. I was out of the country, bro. Like I had to
Let me
stamp
think.
my.
What was
Yeah.
happening in
You can tell.
the.
You can tell me, you South African.
I had so many of my things that are going on. I didn't necessarily keep. You know what? There's a lot that's going on, but I can't talk about it. I'm conflicted.
Okay, share with me. I'll just say the word and then you can even
No,
close your camera. I'll talk about it.
oh gosh, no. I can't. I'll tell you on offline about this one. Oh my god.
Type already. I want to stay. Time is no. I'm kidding.
Let's go to
Yep.
what I was busy with, please.
Oh
Let's not.
yes. You've been one hectic
Yes.
person I know. This past
Yeah. Past
however
week.
long. Yes. There is
Listen.
this.
Oh man, that's the advisory board members of the Uyinene Mrhwetyana Foundation and the co-founders, Utata Mrhwetyana, no Mama Mrhwetyana, and S-1, the brother.
Yeah.
And
The
it
ones
was
the
just,
ones that are seated, y'all.
yes, the one that are seated, yes, those are
Yeah.
the Uyinene's family. And then the rest that is standing is the young professionals advisory board members. And we were just celebrating the 5-year anniversary of the foundation. Remember, Uyinene passed away in 2019, and
Mm.
after the tragic passing, the family, in order to channel their grief, they opened up the foundation in honor of Uyinene's, memory.
Mm.
And yeah, and so it was just so amazing to reflect, Slyso, and look at the work that has already been done over the past 5 years. I mean, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And I was telling Unoma as well, I cannot believe it because also there is this surreal feeling in Uyinene just passed away last month. It's like it's still so like
Mm.
alive, and I think it's a spirit really also that also lives on, you know.
Oh
Um,
yes.
and it was just good to reflect. We had amazing program and just looked at the work that we've done with the schools. I mean, E-Foundation in the 5 years adopted 4 schools, and being intentional about adopting Isgolo black schools, that are
Yes.
disadvantaged, where a lot of people don't necessarily want to go this and going there and really empowering young people. And by empowering, I mean not just talking around issues of GBV, Sly, but also talking issues of career guidance and,
Oh
advice
man.
young people in terms of what is it that they need to think about. Like apply university, what are their dreams, what do they want to do, helping young people to think, banaba, there is life outside ilokishi, there's life outside ezlalini,
Mm-hmm.
and giving them those opportunities, helping them with the processes and requirements of university, and options of going to TVET colleges as well, because university is not the only option. um,
Hmm.
just an amazing reflection, and of course the big and the popular walks that we've done throughout the year, and they've become more and more and more popular. The Uyinene Mrhwetyana walks that we do both in Cape Town, because that's where the incident happened,
Yes.
in partnership with UCT, and then we do another one in the Eastern Cape, of course, because her family is here, and she did her schooling here. E.Cape was there because they also do a lecture every year, commemorative lecture every year. You know,
Wow.
they've also kept that going with amazing speakers in their program, and making sure again that the education around GBV and the talks around GBV,
Hmm.
are taken forward.
Hmm. Quinn,
Yeah.
how did it come together? I mean, like you are well to do. You guys are professionals.
Yeah.
Are you from different spheres
Yeah.
or career paths, or it's just around your career
Yeah.
path, like in terms of putting together these young dynamic people that I am looking at, that actually are the pillars of what
Yeah.
Umama no Tataka Uyinene started.
So actually, interestingly, a lot of us knew Unoma, because when the tragic incident happened, Unoma was still employed at Rose University at that time, and we were working very closely with her. And I had also interacted with Uyinene because I was doing consultative work for Kingswood at that particular point in time for my
Oh
private practice.
wow.
Funny enough, yes. So I actually engaged with Uyinene outside, her family. So I've met with her just as a teenage girl, trying to figure out her life in high school. And the rest of the team is people that worked with Unoma, that wanted to help her to put this vision, like to actually make sure that it becomes a reality. Because after that incident, that's one of the pledges that she said. She said, I want to make sure that Uinene's memory doesn't only end with the tragic story, because there was so much more of Uyinene, and the only way to tell her story, the other story of her personality, of her aspirations as a young person, is
Hmm.
through the foundation. And she said, I wish young people can be part of this only. And it just so happens that all of us were like, what mean? Of course, we will help you. We will be part of this, and that's how advisory board came into play. So we come from different fields, not just psychologists. You have people that are in the GBV space. You have people that are in international offices, in their respective
Wow.
spaces. You have people that are in the legal space, business space, and of course, S-1 that has all been part of the foundation. And then, of course, there is also the other board that also deals with the financial side of things, and of course, the governance of the foundation, whereas the advisory board deals more of the operations. We are
Hmm.
the ones that actually make sure that the vision, is actually put into place, and we bring it to life, and making sure that these programs are taking place on a yearly basis. Yeah.
Wow, like this is super. Like I don't even have much words for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and my question always is government anywhere near participating in any of what the foundation is about?
I see. Let me greet to Kuseli. Hi, Dibela. Thanks for joining us from Facebook.
Oh man, thank you so much,
Yeah,
bro. We see you.
we see you.
There he
So,
is.
so, so, government as
Yeah. Any contribution from the? the South African government or any non-governmental organization for that matter.
You know what? We've had, luckily enough, we've had a lot of non-government organizations that have partnered with Uyinene Mrhwetyana. USPA, for example, being one loyal partner who's always, sponsored
Mm.
programs there, events there. To always, when we have the GBV walks, the annual walks, they always make sure they take care, of our people and supplying amanzi and making sure that our water stations are ready when people are done with the walks. I must also indicate that for the walk, of course, government comes through and assists us, especially traffic departments, East London, say Cape Town. They're always on board in helping us make sure that road safety, is maintained
Mm.
during our walks. We have worked with other civil organizations like Umas Manyane's International Women's Association or organization. It's an international organization that has been in the space of GBV for a very long time. They actually helped us to also put together a strategy for our organization. So they were very instrumental and very supportive. So many partners. I mean, we also recently partnered with the Foundation Gama Kazole, working together.
Yes, I remember that
Right,
one.
yes. And Umakazole, this was very important for Unoma, and it was full circle when they came in on board this year, because she still remembers Umakazole, they were playing rugby. I think they were playing a game in the 2019, and he was the one that
Yes.
you know, honored Uyinene's life because it had happened at that time, and that I think that was such a beautiful reaffirmation for Uyinene's family, that people were feeling their pain. People were actually
Mm.
grieving with
Mm.
them. So we've
Mm.
had. I mean, we are now also working closely with Ilanga for men, because we're also very intentional about bringing men on board.
Oh yes. Oh
Around
yes.
the table. We had last year a theme where we were focusing on the boy child, where we were again being intentional. We don't want boys to always be brought in at a later stage. We have to play a
Mm.
role in making sure that they come in very early, and because of that, then the Uyinene Mrhwetyana Football Club was um, developed, and last year we launched the football club eqhina ezilalini. So we have a football club,
Wow.
and the work there
Wow.
is to say, intentionally create space for young boys to feel safe, to express their fears, teach them what it is to be a healthy man, what it is to be a vulnerable man, teach them what it is to be, a boy that is free to express his emotions. Don't expect him at a later stage to be a soft man, God can't space to be a soft
Mm.
boy.
Mm.
So yeah, amazing,
Mm,
amazing, amazing.
you know what's great? Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's gotten me quite emotional. Remember, I think back in the day when we were growing up,
Yeah.
there used to be one man who in your entire street or area who will be responsible for
Mm,
starting a soccer team, starting whatever activity that is going to keep kids busy
busy.
and out of trouble. And most importantly, what I'm finding out is you are sharing this with us in terms of what is there a football club to take
Yes.
care of of young boys, and the
Yes.
importance of that. It is more than just playing soccer. You
No,
know,
it's more than
um,
playing soccer.
for
It's
me
more.
it is the missing education from home around adolescence, around
Yes.
manners, around all of these things that are important to mold young people. So yeah, I'm
I mean, if
I'm
you, I
flipping
wish you were, I
emotional
wish,
about it because these are things that we used to have, and there was
yes,
less crime because you
yes.
had Abatata Nabaputi who were responsible, who were saying we'll take care of these kids, man.
Ubuntu, just Ubuntu, again, that thing of it takes a village. It was really lived back then. Mana Lomdana, as a parent, I'm also parenting Utobeka, umama ongapha next door, umama ongapha
Mm,
ezantsi. You understand? Like there
Mm.
was this communal parenting that was taking place, and I think that's what is missing also now, which is making things a bit, very, very difficult, especially also for single parents now, because of this reliance on the nuclear family. So for
Mm.
if is losing control of umntanakhe, can't even go to the neighbor and get support in terms of just intervention at different ezasuka kwenye icala, which
Mm.
are things that were there back then in terms of supporting one another, as
Yeah.
we parent abantwana.
We're quite at this moment, and I mean, like, obviously there were celebrations. I saw my former colleague,
Yeah.
one of my beautiful queens.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's amazing.
she was a
Shout
part
out
of
to
it as
you,
well.
Nonala. Oh, she did such an amazing job directing the program with such grace, with such, poise, and of course, the respect that it deserved. And of course, Ononala also pledging on the day that she will be a partner of the foundation going forward.
Oh yeah.
And she also has her own business. I think it's a media company that she's got, that she will be assisting on the side of marketing and all of that as far as the foundation is concerned. So we're looking forward to that partnership also, and just making sure that we expand.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know she's very passionate, and obviously highly religious. I remember we used to tease each other about the whole church thing. I'm just like, "Aye, mhlawumbe cawe nawe awukabume, awumenga." But I know that she's very passionate. We would have times we would go out for lunch, like after work, and you know how she would speak about her marketing company, where her vision, and I remember when she left, she's just up and left. And I was like, yo, we were still planning and talking about these things. Like, what's wrong with you? So
Yeah.
she was off. But I'm sure that she definitely is someone, or Luluto to the organization, the influence as well. We also want to sign that pledge as Forward Movement Entertainment as well, by the way. And of course,
Oh,
you had a lecture.
of course. How can I not forget? Oh my
Hmm.
God. We
That's why
had,
I'm here.
man, I was blown away. You know, when you meet women who are like, they speak truth to power, like they awaken your mind, and
Mm.
just your consciousness. Prof Ramgondo from UCT, DVC, UCT. She was the keynote address. She was a keynote speaker, sorry, and gave such a thought-provoking keynote, and just contextualizing it, gender-based violence. And one of the things that I want to say, for even if you was there too, that
Mm.
stuck with me, Slyso, is that she said we need to understand and reject this idea that black men are violent, because black men were never violent. Black men were not
Mm.
born violent. When they were never groomed like that. Something happened in the system, that has actually contributed to this violence that we see, to these violent men that we see. So she was just kind of reminding us, Subana, there is a place where this violence is coming from, and we must never forget that, right?
Mm.
The root of where this GBV is coming from. And she was just talking about, Slice, the fact that Yena, as a vendor woman, she knew that there was never an issue for a woman in a traditional dance setting to be breast, to be bare. It was not a
Mm.
thing. It was not triggering rape or anything for men back in the day, you know. And she was just teaching us and reminding us about those cultural relevant things that speak against actually the idea that black men are violent, black men, are rapists, black men are,
Mm.
because that's what the narrative is, right? That's what the media pushes, right? Um,
Yeah.
and she was saying that there is a history of violence that we must not forget. The history of black men being humiliated, the history of even black women being raped, when they were slaves, and all of that,
Mm.
and how that contributes to also the violence we see now. So, I mean, again, amazing, amazing,
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
I think at this point, what I'm going to do is obviously I mean, since we started, we were talking about crime related stuff and and all of that. And by the way, I actually found those videos. I'm gonna play little snippets of it,
Sure.
just so that we don't get dropped by people who host us and all. But I will do that a little bit later on. But what I want to do, probably for somebody is like, yo, you guys started off and then like you went somber. It's important that we talk about these things, and we are about to get into the motivational moment. So at least just for a light moment, and I think this is something that that was part, by the way, of these same celebrations. Let's check them out. I'm just trying to. So those are the pledges being signed there.
So that was actually a remembrance wall where people were signing their messages in remembering Uyinene and other gender-based violence victims or survivors.
Wow. Oh wow. Beautiful function it. Ah, there she goes. There she goes. Oh man, there you go. We say thank you so much for to people like you that actually take the time out and make sure. I know how passionate you are. As I always say to people, I think what um, drew me towards approaching you, for this feature we are about to get into, it was just your passion for young people, and how much you tried and you still try, and you've even gained traction in spaces like TikTok, where I don't know. You're taking out the formal part of psychology of a person dealing with with themselves. So for me, it's one of those things that actually just attracted me towards your work and wanting you to be a part of the Slyso TV podcast. And today we say thank you very much that you agreed to do that as we get into a very beautiful feature, ladies and gentlemen, with the first lady.
Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on yourself.
It can also be a developmental crisis issue.
Keep pushing and stay the course. Guys, my intro is top tier. Please, don't judge my singing. I'm not going to be very long today. I just want to bring us to the awareness of the fact that today is the 9th day of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And I wanted, there was a message that was actually just kind of like triggered when I thought about 16 days of activism that I wanted to speak about today. And this is a message and perhaps a reminder and perhaps a very uncomfortable call to action for women, in particular women who have children, but women who are stuck in abusive relationships or abusive marriages. There's something that a lot of women like to do when they feel trapped in an abusive environment or abusive relationship. And I say when they feel, because that's exactly what it is. It's a feeling. It's not real. And this feeling is created by the abuser. The abuser wants you to feel trapped. And they play with the psychology, right? The psyche around your confidence and resources sometimes to make you feel trapped. But what happens is that, and I'm talking, Sly, to not only women who are in heterosexual relationships, I'm talking to also women who are in the same-sex relationship. I'm not talking to women who are only dating men. I'm talking to women who are dating, women, or men who are dating men, whatever the case may be. People who are stuck in abusive relationships who have kids, they like to sometimes use this phrase, Yobana, I'm staying in this relationship for the sake of my kids. And I want to say that the time is up for using that excuse. You can no longer afford to stay in an abusive relationship for the sake of your kids. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. Not for your own well-being, for your mental health, not for the mental health and well-being of your kids. It's not fair, actually, for kids to be forced to grow up in an environment that is toxic just because when you are saying you are staying for the sake of them. And there's no such thing. So I'm calling out women who use this, because what you are essentially doing is you are using your kids as a scapegoat for staying and for choosing to stay in an abusive relationship. And I know this is going to sound harsh, and I know this is going to sound like, oh, she's being insensitive, or she doesn't understand. No, I understand. I sit with a lot of women who are stuck in abusive relationships, and I help them to come up with a plan, an exit plan. You need to seek professional help so that you can come up with an exit plan if you are stuck in an abusive relationship. What you need to do is you need to be making a plan to leave for the sake of your kids. You need to leave an abusive environment for the sake of your kids. And so really, I want to remind women that kids, all children, deserve to grow up in a safe environment, in a healthy environment, in a happy environment, so that they can grow up to be healthy, happy adults who can flourish in life, who can, live out their dreams, who can, follow their dreams and work and do whatever it is that they want to do and reach their full potential. But when you stay in an abusive environment, what you are saying to your kids, you are saying you are choosing the toxic environment over them. That's the message that you're sending to your kids, that mental health, their well-being is not important. You are choosing to stay in a toxic environment. And that is something that will make your kids to resent you later on in life. So I wanted to just remind women. I know that there's a woman out there who might be trapped in an abusive environment. And I know it's very complicated. It gets very complicated. In the abuse, it gets very complicated. That's why there's something called an abusive cycle, where sometimes the woman who is in an abusive relationship gets stuck into this cycle where the partner will come back, and apologize and buy flowers, and make promises that they're gonna change, and you give them a third or fourth or fifth or sixth chance, and then they do it again, they hit you, or they try to manipulate you in some way, maybe because you don't have financial freedom, they trap you financially, or they threaten to kill you, right? Because we've had cases where women are threatened if they plan or they even communicate the idea of a relationship abusive. The perpetrator gets very upset and very dangerous. That's why indeed, if your situation is as complicated as in your life is in danger, don't leave immediately. Go to a professional psychologist, seek help so that they can help you to come up with an exit plan that is going to help to make sure that you are safe, to make sure that your kids are safe. You cannot do it alone. If you are really serious about leaving an abusive relationship or an abusive marriage, you cannot do it alone. But don't stay because you are staying for the sake of your kids. No, what you are doing is you are destroying your kids, because they are witnessing the abuse. They are seeing how unhappy you are, They are seeing how this abusive situation is destroying you. And you are probably not a present parent. You are probably not a good parent to your kids because you don't have capacity. When abusive situation, you cannot give love to your children, love to your family, love to your friends, because it drains you. So for your own sake, for your own safety, for your children's sake, leave an abusive relationship. The minute it starts abuse, cut the cycle. Like just the pattern, end it. End the generational pattern of abusive relationships by actually taking a firm decision that you are going to leave. And of course, if you need support, you can always touch base with me on, my email address, msenganatobeka@gmail.com, or drop me a WhatsApp, 073-421-3360. I can help you and I can advise you and I can direct you to the right channels that are going to support you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And if you want us to argue and you want us to have this thing, you know where to find me. You know where to find me.
If you want us to find. What are these ngabantu bekarati or something? What's going on? I remember what teams here.
These are our viewers who are here today. So
Guys, yeah, Kakwan. Thank you so much, Queen. Yeah, man, it's such a well, you and I would delve into a lot of this rather emotionally charging topics, and I think from a professional perspective, you are not scared to delve into them because you have most of the answers. And I think one other thing I now want to highlight as well to anybody that might be, I mean, like, we still have the details there, msenganatobeka@gmail.com. That is for people that actually want share more or to find out more about the topic we've just spoken about. We go live, we shoot our podcast live, we risk all kinds of challenges that we have, but our aim is to make sure that we have 2-minute live interactions with people. And obviously, if you want to take it anonymously, the details are there, you can have them. But we say thank you for that. Remember, Queen, there is the story that in fact we just spoke about. I just want to bring our viewers, like especially the one where both of them, where the Reverend was being accused. I'm just gonna play a snippet of that, and we have to credit our sources as well, which we will do.
The Eastern Cape Education Superintendent General Dr. Naledi Mrhwetyana has been suspended. Premier Oscar Mrhwetyana says that the suspension is on full pay and comes as investigation is being conducted into the affairs of the department. The Provincial Education Department has been under the spotlight due to the delayed supply of learner support material and the subsequent court order regarding that matter. Mrhwetyana says that other issues relate to the non-payment of education assistance last year and the loss of a 205 million rand conditional infrastructure grant from the National Department due to underspending. For more on this, we're joined via Zoom.
Yep. So we're just gonna leave that one there, and of course we have to credit the South African Broadcasting Corporation, my mother brand. Okay, the people who pay me on the other side of the podcast for that story. But
I can't remember who said this to me once. Said, I must remember to thank the sponsor. Make sure thank the sponsor all the time.
I look from a journalistic perspective, which we are kind of missing, which is why we have disinformation so much. I think journalists, you need to credit your sources. It doesn't matter. Even the pictures that we put up here, even if it's for a split second, we do acknowledge the source from where we get it from. And for you people who want to start podcasts and stuff, make sure that you stick to those as part of your policy. So that you don't have your videos taken down or somebody has a dispute as far as that is concerned. The second one was the most recent. So now that was a suspension, some time ago of the same doctor who is found wanting now. And the other one that I found, our viewers will bear with us because we only had today to prepare for today's episode. So we go back and forth, especially when it comes to information that we had prepared for you. And I think this is the video that's been making rounds.
Yes.
Unabantu abakhalayo xa uqhuba into zakho ngohlobo lwakho phana emsebenzini, mhlawumbi lo nyaka uyokuphela uphantsi komhlaba wena, okanye abantwana bakho bazobe sengxakini ngoba bathi bandiqale ngabantwana bakho and abantu usebenza nabo.
My fucking goodness. News 24, we have to say thank you very much for that clip that we are using. We are giving you credit. And by the way, you can go to news24.co.za. Is it .co.za? I think it's .com. For more of your news sources. But that is a clip that was played. This is the HOD. I'd like to believe that we had replaced the doctor during her suspension, and the fact, and that's everywhere in government. And I think that's part of what I really wanted to go back to that clip, because that's what happens when you get in as a new person. You come with ideas and ways of trying to change South Africa, but the way that the system is so fucking corrupt, you find that there are people because if you listen to that clip, it says that this information, don't think I'm getting it anywhere else. I'm getting it from the people that you work with. And part of the allegations that they are making is that when Ufika and you're doing your own things there, and doing your own things mean that you are complying, you are doing shit the way that it's supposed to be done, but
you are doing the job that you are employed to do. You
this
are
is
actually giving the people the service that they are supposed to be getting, and you are not actually making friends, because that's what also they want. They want the person to come in and make friends and start to be part of the corrupt system. The minute the person doesn't do that, go and have all these kind of situations going on.
Very silly. That is South Africa. By the way, I think to end it off, unfortunately, my goodness. Okay, cool. We started off late, so we are on time. We're almost like an hour away. And I think the last one that we are going to go to, as I said, I hope my video is ready, because it's all about the Uyinene Mrhwetyana Festival, and obviously Campscapes, friends of the Slyso TV podcast, they said, hey dude, let's take you on an excursion, introduce you to something bigger than the S-1 that we did, which was their first one. We were there to support and everything, and this time around they say, hey, come, and so much that I can tell you now, if you're gonna miss out, Askis, I'm sorry. From this one, we are going to Swaziland. Yeah, I've been saying, let's get the passport stamps. But guess what? At least you have a year to get to that one. It's around May next year.
Guys, Chomizam,
the bushfire. Well, it's so beautiful. Most important, and I think one of the pillars for Campscapes was that over and above the entertainment, the excursion, and blah blah blah, and all of that stuff, it is a space for professionals. Largely people who are there are obviously people who make their own money, because some of them, they buy their own tents, blah blah blah, and all of that. But entertainment is fused within that. Things like the local economy, it was amazing, as I will show you on the videos. Maybe I should actually play the video while I am talking about it, because even though the journey for me was like crazy beautiful, what that I have to say, I think like I'll just talk over it. I'll just mute everything else in the background. And that was us, like, you know, at the border, for the first time, you know, stamping my oh, my new passport. I got a new one. Yeah. So basically, that is basically what it was about. The visuals, while I'm talking about it, the actual the festival. You know, over about 20,000 people. As you see there, I'll press pause every now and then because as we were heading out to buy a few of the things that we actually wanted, we realized that we needed a shopping mall. So that is the Maseru. This is the Maseru shopping mall, where upon arriving there, we realized that there was a rally going on, you know, within, which made us struggle for parking, as you can see us there trying to find it. But beautiful. So there, this past weekend, Lesotho was a hive of activity, including that. And along our travels, obviously coming across like some beautiful. One thing I saw and I appreciate it is that abantu baseLesotho, they do for themselves. They do ngezandla zabo, you know. They do ngezandla zabo. This is just like a normal, you know, takeaway and pub like kind of vibe along the way. I think this place is called Roma. Okay. And the reason why it's called Roma, I think in some of the pictures you will see, it's very religious, Catholic, and there's a school there with a lot of history. This is not so far from the Lesotho or the university as well. This is all along our way to get to Smokolo, which is where the beautiful waterfall, which you will see a little bit later on, is. And professionals were there. The amount of business, the potential business that I came across from just being in that space. So over and above you getting to unwind, excuse me, and enjoy. You meet other professionals and other people. I mean, like I met people in mining. I met people in. There was a very beautiful gentleman that stayed with us, who is a lecturer in Stellenbosch. He's a farmer, and he does a whole lot of other things. He stayed with us, and there was an entrepreneur. You know, so you meet a lot of people that over and above the hey, let's share a drink kind of thing. People, they go there with a mindset that they want to network, you know, meeting other people and seeing potential. I mean, like, as far as I'm concerned right now, there's potential business. I know I have, you know, that is going to pop from that. So yeah, of course, on Sunday the highlight was Lamise. It's a pity I don't have that video here. Didn't have time to put it up, but like on the feature, we definitely will do that and put it up for our viewers to also just check that out as well. But it was so beautiful, Queen, and I don't know why my video has decided that it's going to jam on my ass. Like, dude, like, what did I do?
Come on.
Come on, because there's so because there's so much. Oh wow, there it decides to go. There it decides to go. Because I really would like for our people to actually have an idea of what it looks like, you know, what to be there as a professional environment. And I have to say thank you very much to the government in Lesotho, the tourism, because we complain about we don't have amapolisa, and we need to areas that have so much crime in South Africa that need amajoni. We got stopped by the friendliest of amajoni in there because they know in Dobana this month and that festival means a lot to the people of Lesotho, to tourism, to retail, to, you mention it, even around the campsite. There were guys like with horses, and it was so cheap. You get on a horse for 20 rand or 50 rand, and they, take you around, and just for that enjoyment, everything was accessible. It was for people to have the experience. And obviously, traveling with Campscapes, who get in there before, service their clients, and then leave when everybody leaves. Beautiful as well. In spaces like that, you have people that are actually tasked with making sure that kuyaqokelelwa inkunkuma, kuyathwane, which speaks to an economy, because Queen, this place and this beautiful waterfall is in a village.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm so proud of Abesutu, guys. And these are just like some of the images, and I don't know why I have to do this in order for people to see it. There's a young boy there who was heading Zikusha, yeah. They farm a lot. They farm a lot. It was cold as fuck the first night. I actually, it was so cold in my tent, I had to sit outside. That is the sunrise. And
wow. Okay.
this is just
Yo.
This is just 2 rows of the cars that were there. And of course, Uxolisa, you remember him from Campscapes with the Panama, and that is the waterfall right there.
Waterfall. Oh my goodness.
The guys actually took a hike from where we were on top of gonna say it's a mountain, from where this guy is. They took a walk all around to get to the waterfall right there. So it was a 2-hour hike going there and coming back. And obviously this was us, as usual. We lead, man. Lead them a convoy. So that's basically the aerial view of the whole thing. Over 20,000 people that got there, and it was beautiful as can be. But yeah, I will have that feature where I do that and explore, because I met a very beautiful old elder, rather. He had I think I explained it on thingy as we close off. He had those square, like almost like what I find it, those glasses, square clear glasses. He had a rosary, very beautiful. Unampandla ke nenwele zakhe utatomdala was sitting down. I'm not finding that picture right now, but I'll send it on, so put it on social media. And the pearls, the words of wisdom that that man said with me. He asked me, I think for a bit of money. They wanted to buy something. No, don't think that usokola utata unamanzi akhe asempokothweni, but he just wanted this one thing. And my initial response was that, hey, tata asnayo, because that's what part of what we used as well. Umpesa, so you take your South African rand and you convert them so that you can spend them that side as well. And another thing is that your SIM card as well. That's why we were unable to do a lot of stuff, is because you have to change to a Lesotho number, load your data there, and blah blah blah. But the functionality is beautiful. So old man, he has on his right hand a Michael Jackson, a shiny gray like Michael Jackson glove on his right hand. He had a newspaper. He has a newspaper, and he has a Bible as well. And he's wearing All Stars, as you will see in the picture. And guess what he was sitting there doing? He was waiting for a guy who was bringing this 5-liter a bottle of some root herb, which is supposed to be an immune booster. And he was sharing with me why at that age I couldn't. I wish I could have had an interview with him, but I met him by chance while we were at the border waiting. But beautiful, beautiful scenes and beautiful people of Lesotho, and of course to the festival. We look forward to another one next year. That's my story.
I will be there next
I'll
year.
be there.
I will make sure my name is on.
Oh, by the way, if you're still looking to book her, there it is at the bottom. She's our resident qualified, did I say? Okay, counseling
Yes.
psychologist. She does a whole lot of courses, and one of them is around. I never even thought that there is such, but psychology and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So big up, Queen. I think that is our story, and we are sticking to it.
That's our story. And you know what? Just on time, we're sticking to it. Let's get out of here, man.
And of course, please do subscribe, do follow us on
Do
socials,
follow us. Do
including
tell
TikTok.
us what you think, guys. Do tell us what you want to
Yeah.
hear from us and what stories we should be following up on. Do tell us what I should be talking to you guys about. Kwimomo session. And, just engage with us. Let us hear what you think.
It is December, and I think a lot of people are going to be around things like budgeting. There's also that issue of especially young unmarried mothers who, after leaving their mothers to mother their children, and umntu bephangele eKapa but uzawubuya aye ezilalini okanye elokishini naphayana uzawufika aphinda afuna ushiya abantwana kwakhona. There are so many. I mean, like, guys, just be responsible, be thoughtful, so those are some other things that
Also, if you're sending kids for holiday consideration, but send a grocery, but make sure and make sure also that you are responsible in your drinking. I mean, we can't have issues of every year people are being killed on the roads because of reckless driving, alcohol involved. So responsible drinking and driving, please.
Oh yes, Quinn, thank you so much. We'll catch each other on the flip side. And Zizi, we can't wait to have you here, my nigga.
Zizi will be back. We miss him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yathanda uzenza clever. Nje uyazixenya. Uyamazi. Yo, mntakandoni, mntakanondum. Uzawuphendula wena. I'm out. Thank you so much, guys. It's been wonderful.